last thing I'm grabbing is the blinds.
Right.
This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Kanata.
Hi, Anthony Carboni.
Hello, concerned citizens.
Anthony.
Jeff.
We talk
all the time.
Often.
All the time, bud.
Frequently. Almost once a week.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
Hi, thanks for asking. I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm well, thanks.
Well, we should do this more often.
I love our little chats.
We talk frequently on this here podcast about, should we call it the atrocities? The atrocities that we commit to rats and mice frequently.
Oh.
But I say we as a scientific community. I put us in the scientific community.
Yeah, we're in the scientific community. We're pretty respected. We have a podcast award. They try to take it away, but it's fine.
It's fine.
Listen, it's not atrocities, Jeff.
Okay.
It is what it is. It's experiments. It's research. We're simply, some would call it doing the Lord's work. And some people would say those are bad scientists.
Yeah. You don't want science and what do they call it? Christian science? I don't know. I don't know what they call it. Anyway, they're
well read. You can tell them that. They got reading rooms all over the place.
They got reading rooms everywhere. The point is we very frequently talk about these interesting studies, these discoveries, these findings that require the utter destruction of many
selfless sacrifice.
Okay, that involuntary selfless sacrifice of many rats and mice. The things that we do, we have outlined it over hundreds of episodes of this show. We have outlined all the various ways that rats and mice are, let's say,
contributing to society.
Contributing to society. I like that too. And sometimes it isn't pretty. And often, what we have to do to the mice to learn the secrets that are stuffed inside them causes them to die.
Jeffrey.
Yes.
Jeffrey, if I read a study and it does not say rats died in study, if it doesn't say it, I assume rats did not die in study. I assume rats fine. I assume rats given little tiny medal.
It's a little tiny award like at the end of Star Wars.
Small little medal for everyone but Chewie.
Chewie is the most rat-like of the Star Wars characters.
Chewie is a rat that would bite the other rats during the study, and it was throwing everything off.
Yes, but I'm here today with a different kind of study. I'm here today with perhaps the first study we've ever discussed where, we just want to give the rats a good time. We just want to make sure the rats are delighted. And in this study, this is a study about tickling rats. Rat tickling.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Look at this little guy.
Look at the guy getting tickled.
He's having fun. I don't like their feet.
This is a little creepy.
Now,
but look, the feet are all splayed out. He's loving the tickles.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, I don't know what this study is supposed to prove, but here's what it proved to me. Rat feet are like the hands of the thing from Pan's Labyrinth. And I don't enjoy them. I've never seen a rat flex its toes out like that before. And I've decided everything we do to them is justified.
You've never seen a rat flex his toes out like that before because you've never seen a rat in utter joy. This is why we keep them in pain. He's in ecstasy right now. His feet are just like, I love this.
I want rats to go back to suffering. I just keep staring. I know that we're going to talk for like an hour about this story, and I just keep staring at that one back foot in the picture that's just splayed, and it's facing the camera perfectly straight on. So it looks like a little hand. It looks like Jason Voorhees' little hand coming out of the soil at the end of the movie. Just like,
that rat is trying to give you a high four.
Yeah. But it's
Or I guess
5, Jeff.
It's 5. You're right.
It's 5. You're thinking of a cute cartoon rat. No, we're talking about real rats now. They have 5
He does have
digits.
5 fingers, doesn't he?
Oh, and like the longest nails. I don't like it, Jeff.
Well, he likes it. He's being tickled right now.
Good
Did you
for
know
him.
that rats like being tickled? This is a revelation in and of itself. We don't even need to get to the story. Rats like being tickled.
Now, wait a minute. Do rats like being tickled or do rats laugh when they're tickled? Because
I don't think there's a difference between those two things.
Then you're a horrible person.
Do you like being tickled?
Then I can already tell that you're a horrible person who has tortured people, probably your children.
Well, definitely that. They laugh all the time. They scream, stop, stop, but they're giggling while it happens.
If you're giggling while it happens, you can't possibly dislike it.
That's right. That's what the giggle means.
Speaking as somebody who used to be a small child, and by small, I don't mean I'm thinking back to when I was young. I mean, I was a little guy. Too little, small for age. I'll tell you this. Laughing when you're tickled and liking being tickled, 2 different things, Jeffrey.
Did you weren't somebody that enjoys being tickled?
No. Do you enjoy being tickled?
Sure. I mean, up to a point, right? There's always that point where it's like, you gotta stop. But when I was a kid,
that point's immediately.
No.
Yes.
When you're a little kid and your dad starts tickling you, your mom starts tickling you, you're like, I love it. And then you're like, no, stop. It's too much. But I always enjoyed it.
What? That's ridiculous. For what? Why do you enjoy it?
Well,
why would you do
it? It elicits the giggles, and my whole body.
Do it also elicits the giggles? A good joke, a nice time. Yeah, you don't need to tickle me. You don't need to physically invade my space. You don't need to You don't need to make me have involuntary physical reactions to things. Put on a movie.
My wife does not like being tickled at all. In fact,
good. She's correct. As always, your wife is correct.
As always, her tickle response is so cute. Mm-hmm. It is adorable. It is really adorable. But it's so heightened that I could just brush my hand against her, arm, and all. No, it's tickly. And she does not like it. Does not like the tickle.
Huh.
And I, feel rejected every time that happens because it's delightful. The tickle is a delight.
No, you're wrong.
All right.
You're empirically incorrect, and you're training your children to be incorrect people.
We are definitely more rat-like. It turns out, because the rats we have found love being tickled. Actually, you know what? You need to show.
How do you know that they love being tickled?
It's the giggling and the fun and the ha-has.
That's not. Jeff, that's not. It's involuntary. You don't know if they like it. You just know that they're laughing. Okay, right. I'm going to show this. I'm going to show this clip.
Watch the clip of the tickling, because I have some issues about this. Okay. So play the clip. This is the researchers. It's very rough tickling.
Oh, I don't like it. And I don't like the noise they make.
Yeah. Okay. So what you're hearing, I don't know if the audience is hearing it.
But here's what I'm seeing. What I'm seeing is somebody literally just the human hand compared to the size of a rat. When they're tickling, it's not just tickling. It looks like they're literally just shaking the rat around.
So what this video is
the rat runs away, Jeff.
Footage. What?
The rat runs away.
Well, it's gotten to that point where it just had too much fun. That's what I've learned.
Oh my God.
So what we're looking at is black and white footage. It's night vision footage, top down,
which makes it look even more normal.
Yeah. It's like, Paranormal. What's that movie? The Paranormal franchise was just
Paranormal Activity. Yeah,
Paranormal Activity. That's what it is. Night vision footage, top down, looking at a rat like in a black box, and this gloved human hand, gloved in like a plastic surgical glove, comes down, and it's just manhandling this rat.
Truly.
just complete shaking it around, roughly tickling its tail.
It's just I don't like it there, and underneath it's giving names for the techniques. It's like, oh, this is dorsal tickling, and now we're ventral tickling, and now we're tail tick. Like, man, science can just give a boring name to any atrocity. That's what I know.
But what they're hearing
sounds like
what you're hearing. Yeah, it is the rat giggles, which are. They're not perceptible to the human ear. So if you're listening and you've been tickling rats this whole time thinking they don't enjoy it, that's the reason. You, as a human, can't perceive their giggles.
No.
You need a super microphone, which is what they have installed in this black box of Tickle Joy.
It probably means that we're just not supposed to hear rat laughter, and we shouldn't do this because the rats don't want to laugh. If we could hear rat laughter, like they would have evolved auditory rat laughter that we could hear if we were supposed to tickle them. You know what I mean?
Rat laughter.
Do you know that? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to put a pin in the main thing that we're talking about, and I'm going to take you down a horrible road for just a second.
Okay.
The B-52s are on TikTok.
Oh.
And Fred Schneider is so old.
How old is he?
He's so old that he looks like a Fred Schneider puppet. And they just he just replies to Rock Lobster memes and stuff like that. Like you can tell that he's got like a kid running his account, probably like his, I don't know, great grandkid or whatever. Like it's terrifying. It's terrifying. It looks like they made a puppet to introduce an anthology horror series. And I'm sorry, I'm making a lot of like horror anthology and like horror analogies today, and we're just in the middle of October, and I've been watching a lot of horror stuff. Sorry,
and Rob, if you're listening, don't take it personally.
And Rob, if you're listening, the greatest horror that I've seen this month is fucking rat tickling.
Anyway, so they have this ultrasonic microphone set up to record the laughter because you can't hear it with the human ear. So you know how people all the time when they have rat infestations will just like tickle them because it's so much fun. And most people are like, I've been tickling rats for so long, but they never laugh.
Yeah.
It's just because we can't hear it. You don't have ultrasonic ears. That's the problem. So I'm just saying, if nothing else, listening to the show, you now know that when there's rats in your apartment, you're free to tickle them because you can rest assured that ultrasonically they are giggling their little rat asses off.
No. I mean, I guess if you have a rat infestation, I guess tickle rats if it's going to get you through the day. But like, no, these rats don't like this. I can tell.
So what's the point of this study? I hear you asking.
Yeah. What's the point of anything, you hear me asking, but what's the point of the study?
We're trying to determine, we don't understand fundamentally why we play or how we play or what play does to the brain. This sensation, this impulse that we all have as humans in youth and even carrying forward into adulthood to play, to seek out joy. And there are some mammals that also play. I mean, obviously, you've probably seen cats and dogs and domesticated animals play. Well, it turns out rats also love to play. They love to be tickled.
Now we've talked about some theories of this before, and some of it is figuring out how to work together socially, figuring out sort of competitive games and things like that can help us figure out how to survive a little bit in the wild. Things like that. Testing,
pure exercise, sort of as the body is growing to try to keep muscles healthy. There's certain impulses in that, as suspected by science, but we don't know where in the brain or what function it plays in the actual brain, like what fires when you're playing, why we play, not just sort of behaviorally, but
physiologically,
neurochemically.
Yeah.
Neurochemically. Well, this study aimed to find that. So they tickled these rats. They hooked them up to brain sensors and recorded their giggles when they laughed.
And those brain sensors, totally non-invasive, totally removable. Probably just totally good. This is a good experiment. We set this up. Our thesis statement was this is the good experiment where they have fun. So we're just going to assume that we now don't put the sensors inside the rat skulls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Cool.
So this study took place at the Humboldt University of Berlin. And the researchers there said basically, and we do a lot of studies on negative things, negative emotions, but very few people actually study positive emotions, play, joy, fun, giggles, fun times. So what they did was,
because scientists are masochists. That's why. Like, why study anything positive?
That.
Yeah.
Not these guys though. These fun-loving folks over in Berlin are having a great time.
Nobody
with
has
rats.
fun like the Germans.
Do we even know? We know this.
Yeah.
So not only did they tickle the rats, but they played games with the rats.
What games?
The rats love
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
No, not Spider-Man 2. That hadn't come out yet.
All right.
They love hide and seek, Anthony. They love playing hide and seek.
Animals do love hide and seek.
Yeah. Rats. You know how a rat, when you turn the lights on, will run away?
Yeah.
They're just playing with you.
With your food, and it'll just leave shit all over your apartment floor.
They like playing hide and seek, but before hide and seek, they like playing poop and hide and seek.
Yeah. And you know who else likes playing hide and seek? My landlord when I see a rat.
Yeah, they don't come out.
My landlord loves that. Find him. Try to call my landlord, and my landlord's like, I'm not here.
Yeah.
Whoopsie. I see my landlord like in the building and I'm like, hey. And my landlord like gets in a car and drives off like he couldn't hear me. It's a fun game that we play.
It's hard to play hide and seek with such a wide surface area, including cars. But boy, he really likes to play that.
He loves it. Sometimes I don't see him for weeks. And then I see him all the time. And that's how I know I'm it.
You're it when you need to pay him lots of money that month. So this is how they played hide and seek with rats. The beginning of the game, the rat is inside a box that the researchers would hide somewhere in the room. They open the box using a remote control, allowing the animal to come out of the box. But the researchers are hidden in the room.
Okay.
And the rats look for the researchers. And when they find them, the rats are rewarded. You know what they're rewarded with, Anthony?
Freedom.
Tickles. Because they love tickles so much. So this is a bunch of German researchers in a room allowing rats to run rampant throughout their lab as they hide under desks in corners. And when the rats find them, they tickle the rats.
Is this one of those things that's actually a fetish thing? Is this one of those like when you come across TikTok and somebody's making like really messy food and you're like, oh, this isn't an instructional video. This is for somebody.
This is, if you go to Berlin, you can buy tickets to this, I think.
Yeah, I believe so. And you put on like a plague doctor mask and you hide in a room and you wait for rats to find you. And it's exhilarating, they say. So the rats are seeking out being tickled.
Yeah.
This tells me they have no real joy in their lives.
I think this is a delight. This is how we know the rats love the tickles, because they kept looking for the researchers to get tickled. Now, there's two sides of hide and seek, Anthony. You know this. You can't just be the hider. You can't just be the seeker. You also be the hider.
Yeah.
Right. So the rats were also given the opportunity to hide while the researchers searched for them.
And the rats constructed elaborate disguises.
And according to the researcher at the University of Humboldt in Berlin, Michael Brecht says their ability to strategize sometimes was almost spooky.
He says they built Home Alone-like traps. They called them McCulkin-esque. They called them Macaulay Culkin-esque. They said the number of things we would come into marbles on the floors. We would come into tacks.
There was a flat iron attached to a rope.
Yeah, we don't know how they all apparently worked together to lift the rope and the iron, and it was quite something. It was quite something seeing the cooperation of the rats.
They said they were especially good at coming up with creative hiding spots, and their ability to strategize was almost spooky. And they loved hiding. I just imagine these scientists in white lab coats walking around like I do with my 5-year-old going, where could they be? Where are you?
I can't find the little vermin, like you say to your children.
That's right. Filthy rats are hiding somewhere in my house.
Who carries a sickness? Who carries communicable diseases?
They also played games of Chase the Hand.
Animals love Chase the Hand. That's proven. Yeah. That's proven fact. My friend had, I guess the closest thing that I've ever had to a friend who had a rat is I had a friend who had a ferret.
Right. I think you've mentioned this before. Yeah.
Weird ass pet. Weird ass pet. I put ferret people even weirder than bird people.
Don't understand the parent that is like, let's thumbs up on the ferret.
I don't know either. Cause what ferrets like to do, like ferrets love to hide. That's their thing.
Yeah.
And they're really wiggly. They're like little physical, like living tubes. They're like pool noodles that are alive.
Yeah.
And they like to hide in pool noodles. Like if you have
to ferret out where they went.
Exactly. Yeah. So they love hide and seek. And my buddy had this ferret, and the ferret would like hide behind the couch or like under the cushions or like in the pool tube. And when you found it, you'd be like, oh, there he is. And he'd be like, woo. And he'd like spin around and he'd like run away and like try to go hide again. And you'd be like, where'd he go? There he is. He'd be like, woo. And it was actually like, listen, they stink and they chew through everything. But I'll be damned if playing hide and seek with this ferret wasn't the most adorable thing I've ever seen. And I got to tell you, the scientists that figured out how to get funding to play hide and seek with animals, that's smart science, baby.
Right? Come on. They're having a great time all day long. Now you're coming over to my side.
Some people are, they're giving the rats cancer and shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like all day, they're like, what are you doing? Like, I'm getting up in the morning and I'm going to give the rats cancer. Rats.
Yeah. I'm injecting tumors into rats. That's my job.
I can't wait to make rats sick every day.
Yeah.
These guys, these folks waking up every morning, a spring in their step, a melody in their heart, malevolent just tickling in their soul. But other than that,
delightful.
They're doing like the little, like the happy with himself Mickey Mouse walk to work.
That's right.
And so are the rats. The rats are also doing that. They're all like,
these guys don't even need to drink coffee. They're just delighted to wake up every day and go into work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's another day to frolic with the rats, they say.
What are you doing today? Oh, I get paid to play hide and seek with idiot animals where like if I don't feel like seeking, and I'm sure you've done this as a father, if I don't feel like seeking right away, like if I got something real quick I need to do, like I can do that and they don't know because they're hiding and they feel like I'm interacting with them.
I wonder if these scientists do what I do, which is like you get a really good spot and your rat, or in my case, child, is seeking. Yeah. And you're just like, I have an opportunity to just like look at my phone.
Yeah. I
can just be on my phone. They're seeking. I'm in here. They don't know I'm in here. They're not going to find me. And then the kid gives up kind of, and they get, their attention goes to something else.
And you're
just like, I'm just going to stay in here.
You hid so well. I couldn't find you. You hid so good. I looked all over. Where were you? So do you think the scientists do the thing that you do where you tell your kids to play hide and seek and then you go to the liquor store?
Yeah. I bet they do. I mean,
do you think they do
I think
that?
that's how you play hide and seek, right? Hide and seek and give daddy a.
That's how we've always done it in my family.
So what did we find? What did we find with all this tickling and hide and seek play and grab ass?
We find that if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life.
That's right. That is right. That's what these scientists published. This is a study on happiness.
This is a second
nothing
paper.
to do with the rats.
They got a twofer.
This is a study on work-life balance. Is what this is a study on.
So we're tickling these rats. What lit up in their brain? What happened?
We got electrodes attached to their brain as we're
Safely.
tickling them. Yep, completely. Over the skin, under the clothes. And it turns out a section of the brain called the periaqueductal gray, or the PAG for short, is the thing that lights up, is the thing that is most engaged during this, which they believe means that play is instinctual. So this section of the brain plays a role in vocalization, fight or flight response. If you Wikipedia periaqueductal gray, this is the same part of the brain that controls pain modulation.
See,
which
I was going to
really
ask.
makes sense because, right, we know that laughter sometimes can actually work as a pain modulator. You can actually get through very painful things. We've seen studies about this.
Yeah.
We actually may have talked about this on the show. Where if you're laughing, you actually don't feel as much pain.
We also know that sometimes, even though you're laughing, tickling is very unpleasant. So it makes sense. Both of these things can be true, Jeffrey. I also was going to ask about whether the PAG had something to do with survival and fight or flight, because that makes sense to me too, within that sort of the other studies that we've covered before, where it's like, oh yeah, this is a safe play, is a safe version of danger.
Exactly.
In order to let you know what the boundaries are without, it's like how we've talked about how kids like to be scared, or why we like scary movies. And it's sort of a similar thing where it's like, we want to be frightened in a way that is safe, because it's exciting and it can be fun, and we also learn something from it.
Yeah, it trains us how to deal with those dangerous moments. And that's exactly what Brecht and his team came to. He says that when rats play fight with one another, they exhibit behaviors that mimic fear and aggression. So Brecht suspects that the PAG, or similar region of the brain, might be responsible. I think it kind of all comes together, and you understand, play. I mean, even hide and seek is kind of a hunting mechanic, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's happening is we're simulating these survival behaviors. Right?
Yeah. Well, you think about when you see like any animals play, like when dogs play at the dog park and things like that. It's like, are they fighting? Or are they playing? College bros, are they fighting? Or are they playing? You know,
or they just
you can never
listening
tell.
with sweat and standing there looking at you across the room.
What?
I don't know. Nothing.
Okay. I was going to say that, this makes a lot of sense to me. This makes a lot of sense to me.
Now, there is one little thing that I should probably mention, because, I brought this up as the opposite of what we usually talk about. And, the fact that they got to play and, this isn't the kind of thing we usually hear about with the rats and the mice. And
the process was like totally non-invasive this time. And
there is, a part of this study where they found that rats continue to play even when their entire frontal cortex has been destroyed.
And what they did is they found a bunch of rats that had suffered a ratcident and And but they were like, don't worry, you will live out your life in quality and fun and play. We're so sorry about the thing that happened to you naturally in natural life.
That would be so inefficient. You know, we just have to wait around for the ratcidents to happen.
Yeah.
You know, it turns out that in order to really make sure that the PAG is where this is happening, they, you know, made sure other parts of the brain couldn't be responsible for the play response and the giggling. So there was a lot of rats and mice whose entire brains were destroyed. Not entire brains, but just the cortex.
Oh, and they probably don't need that, right? The frontal cortex.
I'm sure that part, that's the part that's essential for consciousness, higher level behaviors.
Yeah. I was going to say, if I know anything about the brain, and I barely do, the frontal cortex doesn't really have anything to do with higher functions. So we're probably good. They're probably good. They
loved playing even when they couldn't, you know, feed themselves or do anything else.
Very cool. Very cool science.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But most of the study.
Is just is healthy, happy rats playing hide and seek.
Delightful fun. Waking up in the morning, tickling rats, playing hide and seek, and chase the hand. You know,
well, good.
The amount of brain damage, intentional brain damage that we were causing, relatively low.
What was the total number of rats?
They don't say.
They don't say
in this article.
Okay,
yeah.
that means thousands. that means thousands of these guys.
The other thing that they did is, you know, the rats love, as you can probably imagine if you've ever had a rat infestation in your house. I only say this, I keep bringing that up because I once had a rat infestation. Can I tell you something? That was not pleasant.
No.
Had I known all this, had I known this story beforehand, it could have been much more fun.
No, you could have befriended them.
We would have tickled and played, and maybe they were just attempting to play hide and go seek the whole time.
That could be it.
Maybe.
I had some mice in my place that definitely were playing hide and go seek, and it was fun. I think I've talked about this before, where when you have mice, I was getting the no kill traps because I'm a fool. Because I'm a fool that cares about the adorable little mice. And I would catch, I only had the money for 2 traps. I would catch 2 mice every morning in the no-kill traps in the middle of winter in New York. And I would walk the mice as I was walking to work, and I would let them go like a block or 2 from my house. And then I found out that mice are so smart that they can find their way home from 1.5 miles. I was catching the same 2 mice every day. That's how good mice are at hide and seek. There were just more and more mice every day. I was bailing water on the Titanic, Jeffrey.
This guy, these mice were like, this dude is amazing. He's like the best hide and go seek ever. He'll hide us for us. He'll do the hiding for us. And all we have to do is seek.
The prize for being found is he takes us to the park. What a lovely gentleman. And when we come back, more and more of our brood has reached adulthood, and soon the entire building will be ours. It was an absolute nightmare. My roommates finally convinced me to put the poison or the kill traps or the poison in, because I wouldn't do the kill traps. I'm like, I'm not cleaning a kill trap.
Right.
I was like, I'm not going out and looking at that. But that's what the landlord wanted to put in, is like the old school, like snap traps.
Yeah. Right.
And we had to like convince him to do like the poison. And let me tell you, those mice were gone in like a week.
Well, they realized game was over.
Yeah, game's over. Time to go home.
This guy's no longer cool.
Yeah, we've tickled him too long, which is any at all.
Well, if if you've ever had any kind of experience with these vermin, these rodents, they do like the dark, right? Mm-hmm. So one of the things that they noticed in the study is, as you saw in our tickle video, It was in the dark.
Don't say tickle video. Camera. We'll get all the wrong SEO. Don't say, because when the search engines scrape the podcast, we're going to get lumped in with some weird stuff. Don't do that. Don't say that we have a tickle video. Don't say our tickle video. Okay.
The tickle video that we have. No?
No.
Okay. So what we noticed is that, that they feel more comfortable in the dark. Mm-hmm. So in order to play, they had to do a lot of the stuff in the dark, and they kept them in these dark boxes and tickled them in the dark boxes. Well,
a lot of people only like tickle play in the dark.
True. Maybe I should try that with my light. We can get the lights off. No? Okay.
Like one of those college guys.
So what they did was they did the exact same stuff to the mice in glaring light, where they tend to be more anxious and uncomfortable, and the PAG did not light up, was not engaged. So when they were uncomfortable, they did not have the same cerebral response, which leads
the same reason why strangers don't like it when you tickle them at night.
Right.
Because we're not nocturnal like rats. So if you see somebody alone at night and you tickle them, they don't like it. But it's not that you're not doing the right thing.
It's not that your technique
is off.
In
any other situation, they'd like it.
Don't doubt your tickle technique, because you probably are just nailing it.
Oh,
yeah. So anyway, it really leads them to believe that this is the part of the brain that is responsible for this. And I find it fascinating that we already know so much about the PAG and how it's related to fight or flight and pain modulation and threatening stimuli.
It's interesting because it goes back to what what those scientists were saying, the researchers were saying, which is we research the negative effects of things so much more. And so it's like we know this area of the brain for all the negative things it's associated with.
Yes.
And now it's like, oh no, there are positive and negative ways for everything to be experienced.
Yeah. And they're so closely related. I think it does go back to what we were saying about how play and those positive things are there evolutionarily to kind of inform us, guide us when the shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It makes sense, and it's cool to see it backed up by, hard data and fun and just some real good old fashioned rat fun.
Just good old fashioned rat fun. No downsides here. There's a specific section of the podcast that has been edited out. And we're just, I'll probably remember to edit it out. I'll make a note because I don't want a downer in the middle of the episode, but it seems like it's all positive on the rat front this week.
No downside. Finally, a story with no rat deaths.
No rat. Hey, 0 days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Since last rat death. Because today's the start of a new day.
So the two things that Brecht and his team draw from this is play is hardwired into your brain. It's not a learned behavior. It is something that is instinctual, which is that's pretty cool. And that where it exists and what it's related to in other cognitive function is very interesting. And he hopes that this will lead to more research into play, because he needs that sweet grant money.
Yeah,
play with more rats.
And also, like they said, I think we just need to research the positive things more because I think we need to highlight the importance of things that we love more in terms of science, because we don't attach enough importance to them.
Yeah,
we study the negative stuff because it's important to study the negative stuff.
Yeah,
we need to find out if we can cure sicknesses and help with the ills and the problems of the world. But it's also important while we're doing that, and I think we see a lot of it in our society today, that we put off negative stuff or put off positive stuff because we find it frivolous. And I think the less we find these things frivolous, and the more we understand they're really are an important part of a productive and healthy life. Maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll just allow people to experience them more. That'd be nice.
It would be. It certainly would be. I want to know how many times these researchers got bit. You know?
Every
time.
time.
The first time you tickle a rat, that's got to be it. You got to get coached up, right? That's got to be somebody who's like, you just got to get in there. Got to get in there and start tickling.
Listen, you're going to want to approach slowly. Don't do that. They'll bite more. The slower your hand comes towards them, the more they bite it. Just get in there.
They sense fear on you. You got to just get in there. Get in there and start tickling.
Fear is not play. I mean, at least not. I mean, it's got consensual. It can be, but like, I don't know. I think that might be too much for rats.
Maybe a rat safe word. Would you tickle a rat for science?
I don't think you are fundamentally misunderstanding what I believe about tickling, Jeffrey. How do you get through this entire conversation and go, hey man, you want to tickle something? No.
I thought you didn't like being tickled. You don't want to be the tickler either?
Jeffrey, why would I want to cause discomfort in anyone? Yeah. You do this unpleasant thing. You don't like when the unpleasant thing is done to you. Why don't you do the unpleasant thing to others? How are you a father?
How do you reward hide and seek? There's only one way.
You're drunk right now, aren't you? I'm cutting off this episode.
The kids are not going to find me. I got to go to the liquor store.
I'm cutting off this episode.
We didn't tell the people the thing we need to tell them at the end.
Oh, right. Tell the people the thing. You lush.
If you want to support my liquor habit. No, that's the wrong way to say it. If you want to support
our liquor habit.
Thank you. There's only one way this show is possible, and it's because we have patrons at patreon.com/wehaveconcerns. But the good news for you is you get a little tickle if you give us a little support. And the tickle comes in the form. No. Okay. Tickle videos. No. It comes in the. It does. There are videos.
Yes.
Whether they have tickles in them remains to be seen.
They will not.
But there are bonus videos, bonus stuff, extra show. I am very wasted.
Video and stuff and show. You get bonus episodes, you get bonus videos, you get Q&As with us, and you get access to the Discord where all the lovely people are hanging out for just $1 a month or more. As you give more, you get more. Head to patreon.com/wehaveconcerns. I can walk a straight line.
Thank you. One of us can.